Welcome back to HTML and CSS Fundamentals with Coding A. Now let's continue by applying CSS to our HTML page. I've created a style sheet file and I've named it style.css. So let's just connect it to our HTML page. So when we are connecting our style sheet to the HTML page, we use the link. I'll specify the type and then also create the hyperreference. So now here you put the location where you saved your style.css. So in my case it is in the same folder with my HTML with my index.html. So I'll just put the style sheet name, which is style.css. I'll first add some style to our body element. Since body is an HTML element, I'll just say body. So now I'll remove all the default padding. I'll flag it important so that it overrides any other padding. I'll reduce a little bit on the white. Give it that one so that it is not so sharp. I'll remove all the default margins. And also flag this important. When you flag it important, it means that this attribute will never be overridden by any other attribute. Okay. So having done that, I'll also go ahead. Remember, everything is seated on our container. Everything is seated on the container. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some CSS to our container as well. Note, since this container class is a class selector, whenever you're styling a class, an element using a class selector, you start with a dot. So I'll say dot container give it padding. Actually, just copy this. Don't need this color. And then I'll give it width. So now I want my container to cover the entire width of the body. So in this case, I will assign it 100%. 100% means cover the entire width. So I'm not specifying the height for now so that it auto increments with the increment in our content. So now I'll go ahead and style our navbar. So I've added styling to our container and the body. So let me go ahead and style the navbar. The navbar is this, where we have our navigation. It is this. So let's go ahead and add that styling. So we are also using class. also want my navbar to cover the entire width of the container. I'll give it a background color, white. I'll give it position fixed. If you're to realize, this navigation bar doesn't move, so the property that enables it to stay fixed, it is that attribute, position fixed. Alright, so I'll go ahead, I'll say I want it to be at the top. So I'll give this 0 pixels. I'll add this. If you're to realize, there is a border, there is some shadow at the bottom. So I'll add that as well and say box shadow is, I'll first assign it a color. I also now give it the dimensions. Remember, it has got 4 dimensions. I will specify like that. So let's save and see what we have. Our CSS is not reflecting, so what could be the issue? Okay, it has worked. So instead of putting rel, I use type, which was causing issues. Alright, let's continue. Now, we finished styling our navbar, but remember we went ahead and partitioned our navbar into navbar 1, navbar 1, and navbar 2. So let's partition navbar 1 and navbar 2. Navbar 1, I want it to cover 70% of our width of the navbar, and then I'm going to go ahead and float it left. Alright. So now let's go ahead and also add some styling to our navbar 2. Okay. It's navbar 2. You have to make sure that this is the same word you use, navbar 2. I'll give it width of the remaining percentage, which is 30%. Then also I'll float it the right. Now add some text alignment because I want to center. I want to push my button. The alignment helps us to move the content within the div tag. So in this case, I want to push the button to the right. Say text align right. So let's see what we have. Okay, so our button has gone to the right, this has been floated to the right, and this to the left. This is good. Let us proceed now. Okay, now in our navbar 1, you realize that we have our unordered list for the links. So let's go ahead and style our unordered list together with the anchor tag inside. I'll give it padding as well of 0 pixels. I'll flag it important. Give it a width of 100%. I want this to cover 100% of our navbar 1. Also give it a margin of 0 pixels. I don't want any space outside. Now, a list, unordered list, or the ordered list has got a list style, which in this case I want to remove. When I say list style none, it means I'm going to remove this styling, the dots. So when you refresh, you see, it removes the styling or the bulletins. Now I'll go ahead and add some color. I'll give it color. So I'm using hexacodes. You can use any color that you understand, or you can go ahead and read about the hexacodes. Alright. Okay. So also give, so this color is for text, and background color is now for the background of the list. I'll use white. So this is enough. Refresh and see what happens. No significant change. Okay, let's proceed now and style the list items. So we are from styling the unordered list. Let's go ahead and style the list items. So this is how we style the list items. We are going to say look for any unordered list, look for the list item inside it, so that in case we have any other list, let's say which is in ordered list, this styling is not affected, does not affect that ordered list and the items inside it. So this one is specifying look for any unordered list and the list items inside it, meaning this styling that we put here is going to also affect any other unordered list with list items. For instance, it is going to affect also this unordered list with list item. Okay, let's proceed and say add some floating here to left. Give it a width of 20. We want each list item to cover 20%, and also give it a height of 60 pixels. Now I want to align this by using line height. Line height creates spacing at the top and the bottom. I'll show you how it works. I'll give this 70 VH. VH is also a unit we use In CSS we have different units. We have VH, we have the pixels, we have the EM. You can exhaust all of them by doing some simple research on the units for CSS. For now, I'll proceed with that. I'll give it a background color, white. I'll align my text to the center. So let's save and see what we have for now. Okay, you see, it has added our box shadow to the bottom. It has fixed our menu. We've removed the bulletins by the list style none. Then also we've given each list item size 20%, so it covers 20, 20, 20. Okay, now let's proceed also. Let's go ahead and style. Remember, now we've styled the list item. Now there is also this element, the anchor tag, which helps us to reference or to point to other pages. So let's go ahead also and style this. So in so doing, we have to specify which anchor tag we are styling. In this case, we want that anchor tag inside the unordered list within the list item. So that's how we point to it, so that it doesn't affect any other anchor tag that is outside our list items. So I'll say, now I want to first remove these lines here. These lines are decorations. So I'll say text decoration none. Alright. Then I'll go ahead and say font size, give it large, and then color, I'll give it the same color as this. Then also the font weight. This font weight border. So let's save and see what we have. So this is it for now. We shall continue from there in our next class. Thank you so much.